Today we're looking at gladiator games of ancient Rome. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer World History. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com, where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. The Roman Empire is remembered for many things: grand architecture, powerful emperors, and an extensive network of roads. But one of the most iconic aspects of Roman culture was the gladiator games, thrilling contests that captivated audiences for centuries. These games were more than just fights. They were a combination of entertainment, politics, and ritual that played an important role in Roman society. The origins of gladiator games are somewhat of a mystery. Historians believe that these bloody competitions began as part of funeral rituals for wealthy nobles. In ancient Rome, when a powerful person died, it was believed that human sacrifices could appease the gods and help the deceased in the afterlife. These sacrifices eventually evolved into combat between trained fighters or gladiators who fought to the death to honor the dead. By the time of the Roman Republic, these battles had become public spectacles, no longer just for funerals, but for the entertainment of the masses. The first recorded gladiator games in Rome were held in 264 BC, during the early Roman Republic. They were organized by two sons in honor of their deceased father. Over time, these games grew in popularity and scale, eventually becoming one of the most anticipated events in Roman culture. Not all gladiators were the same. They were divided into different types based on their armor, weapons, and fighting style. Each type had its strengths and weaknesses, making the games more exciting and unpredictable. Some of the different types of gladiators included the Murmillo gladiators, who were heavily armed with a large shield and a short sword called a gladius. They wore helmets adorned with a fish crest, and their style of fighting was slow and methodical. The Retiarius Gladiator, unlike the heavily armored Murmillo, fought with lighter gear. They carried a trident or three-pronged spear and a weighted net, which they used to trap their opponents. They wore minimal armor, relying on speed and agility. The Thrax Gladiator had a small shield and a curved sword called a sica. They also wore helmets with a distinctive griffin crest and wore leg armor to protect themselves from their enemies. These are just a few of the many different types of gladiators that were often pitted against each other, leading to dramatic, unpredictable battles. The Romans loved seeing how various fighting styles and strategies played out in the arena. Gladiators were usually enslaved people, prisoners of war, or criminals who were forced into combat. However, some free men chose to become gladiators voluntarily, seeking fame, fortune, or a chance to escape poverty. Once a person became a gladiator, they were trained in special schools called ludi, where they learned how to fight and survive in the arena. The life of a gladiator was brutal and dangerous, but it is a myth that all gladiator fights ended in someone being killed. If a gladiator was killed in combat, the sponsor of the games had to pay for a replacement. Many gladiators, however, did not survive more than a few fights, but those who did could become famous throughout the Roman Empire. Successful gladiators were treated like celebrities, with fans cheering their names and emperors awarding them with money and gifts. Despite the dangers, being a gladiator also had its rewards. Gladiators were well fed and received the best medical care available at the time. They trained with skilled instructors, and if they survived long enough, they could gain wealth and freedom. Gladiator games took place in arenas in towns and cities throughout the Roman Empire. The most famous arena for gladiator games was the Colosseum in Rome, also known as the Flavian Amphitheater. Completed in 80 AD, this massive stone structure could hold up to 50,000 spectators. Gladiator games were the main attraction. Gladiators would enter into combat, sometimes reenacting famous battles from Rome's past, or even fighting wild animals such as lions. Roman emperors would often sponsor games as a way to gain popularity and win the favor of the people. These events were free to attend, as the cost was covered by the wealthy or the state. The peak years of gladiatorial combat were from about 100 BC until about 200 AD, but they eventually declined as the Roman Empire faced internal struggles and external pressures. As the Christian religion began to grow throughout Rome, attitudes towards these brutal spectacles began to change. Many Christian leaders condemned the games as immoral, and they were seen as a reminder of Rome's violent past. The last known gladiator games took place in 404 AD. Emperor Honorius officially banned them after a Christian monk tried to stop a fight and was killed by the angry crowd. His death marked the end of an era as gladiator games disappeared from Roman society. The gladiator games were an essential part of Roman culture, reflecting both the empire's love for grand entertainment and its brutal nature. These events captivated Roman audiences for centuries, showcasing bravery, skill, and the harsh realities of life in ancient Rome. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.